Hello YouTube, Byron at Splitting Slices. Welcome back to the Knife and EDC channel. Today it's time for a 2 for Tuesday video. Since it is Tuesday, March 10th, 2026, we're going to take a look at two knives designed by Andy Armstrong when he was with another knife company. And I'm talking about the Rough Ryder Reserve line. Now, this is a series of premium quality slip joint knives that are built in China but were either borrowed from and or modified by Andy Armstrong when he was with the other knife company. And they are now offered at a variety of different dealers across the country. Now, these knives are usually made in either a premium micarta or premium bone scales. They have D2 steel for the blade steel, and they come boxed exquisitely. The knives come wrapped in a wax paper, then wrapped inside of this black microfiber cloth that always has the logo, Rough Ryder Reserve, always built by hand, back for life. And then they come inside a steel tube with the ends of the knife protected by foam inserts. And finally, the cardboard box with the logo and the SKU number and knife model number on the end. So that is the packaging you can expect from the Rough Ryder Reserve line. We're going to take a look at two of the 4-inch long knives that are part of the series. The first one is going to be model number RRR020. And this little gem of a knife is the Panthera. All right, so this is a single-bladed knife. I want to call it an unequaled end bolstered knife, almost, I guess, a small bow trapper type pattern. If we open it up, has half stops, has a beautiful, I'm going to call it a modified spear point blade that is swedged. The swedge runs from the midpoint of the spine out to the tip. You have a match strike nail nick at the bottom third of the blade. And then you have a nice bellied with a slight recurve. I'm going to call that again a spear or a modified drop point blade of D2 steel with a sharpening choil. You have the model number stamped and the logo stamped on the tang. Here is the model number, and it says D2 steel in China. This has a double fluted head bolster with a single fluted tail bolster. Pinned construction on that micarta scale, 5 pins with the bomb-style shield or federal shield. Okay, we got brass liners, nickel-silver bolsters. We turn it over. Here's the other side or pile side of the knife. Beautiful wood-grained micarta for the scales. Just a nice-looking knife. Now that canted or downward sloping drop point blade is nice for draw cuts. As far as the pull on this, I'm going to give this a fairly light pull. I'm going to call this a 3.5 to 4 on the pull of that knife. So if you are somebody that has arthritis or some nerve damage in your fingers and hands, have a little hard time with holding knives and opening knives, this one might be a real good blade for you. All right, and a nice bow trapper type handle. I can get 4-finger grip on this knife, choke up a little bit on that top bolster and a little bit on the tang of the blade, but I can get a full 4-finger handled grip on this. Just a nice slicing knife for doing peeling work or doing some draw cut work, slicing work. The RRR020 Panthera in D2 steel blade, drop point, and I'm going to call it more of a bow trapper type design pattern. All right, that's knife number 1. Let's take a look at knife number 2 again. A 4-inch long. In fact, this one is 4.25 inches closed, but this is a big boy right here. This is the RRR042 Rough Ryder Reserve finger grooved brown bone big belly trapper. That's quite a mouthful. All right. But you can see this has got a beautiful two-tone brown and dark brown or black jigged bone scales. Nice transitions going into the head bolster. Again, this is basically a stainless steel framed with brass liners between the two-bladed trapper. Has a nickel silver head bolster, double fluted or threaded. Has 6, I'm going to call them brass pins with a, I guess that, it almost looks, I guess that's nickel silver, but boy, it sure's got a brass tone to it, that Federal or Bomb shield. All right. If we turn it over to the other side, you can see beautiful jigging on this bone. All right, again, that two-tone brown and then dark brown or almost black jigging on this one. Beautiful look to this knife. 4 1/4 inches closed, 7 1/2 inches overall length when opened, and we've got 2 blade lengths of 3 1/4 and then about 3 1/8 inches. So let's go ahead and open this up. Half stops on the blades. Beautiful, what I'm going to go ahead and call a California bellied clip point on this. Slight upswept tip. Swedge from midpoint of the blade out to the tip, and then you have that match strike fuller nail nick on the bottom third of the knife, bottom half of the knife. All right. So nice clip point blade. Now let's go ahead again. You've got your model logo, Rough Ryder Reserve, and then on the other side you have your model number, D2 steel, made in China. All right, let's go ahead and close this side. Nice walk and talk on this one. And look at the spade blade on this. Boy, that is one bellied spade blade with almost no tip. I mean, quite a blunt tip on this. Of course, that is the whole purpose of that spade blade, right? Be able to do some slicing and cutting without penetration for the old job of this back in the West. We'll let you look that up. Now, could be used to spread your peanut butter, especially this big old bellied spade blade. All right. So there you go. Swedge on this one as well. More prevalent on this side. Match strike nail, fuller nail nick on this spade blade. Quite the looker of this one. 3 1/8 on this one, 3 1/4 inch on the clip point. Half stop, and quite the whack on the walk and talk. This is a big boy knife right here. Okay, not too bad on the pulls either. I'm going to give this a 4 1/2 on the pull strength on both blades, both open and closed. So not too bad, and the fuller nail nicks are very easy to get to on both blades on both sides of the knife. So even if you have a little bit of hand damage, I think you'll be able to handle this knife very well as well. Definitely the Panthera, though, would be the easier of the two to operate and open and close. Okay, so there you go. 2 big 4-inch when closed knives, 4-inch, 4 1/4. Okay, now, these knives run at a variety of prices, okay? I checked 3 different dealers. I checked SMKW, Chicago Knife Works, and Discount Cutlery up in Michigan, who I like to go to occasionally to check their prices out on discounted and or discontinued knives. And I will tell you that the 3 dealers vary greatly in their pricing. For the Panthera, I found pricing anywhere from $60 a unit to $22 a unit on sale. So I suggest you check all 3 of those dealers and you decide where you want to purchase from based on reputation, size, shipping, etc., etc. On the brown bone big-bellied trapper, prices ranged from $75 retail to $60, $30, and $41 respectively on sale pricing. So again, pricing varies quite a bit on these Rough Ryder Reserves. I would check out all 3 dealers and buy from the one you are comfortable with. You may find them at other locations, but those are my 3 main dealers when I look for Rough Ryder Reserve knives. Again, that was SMKW, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, CKW, Chicago Knife Works, and Discount Cutlery. All right, that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed this 2 for Tuesday Rough Ryder Reserve video. This is Byron from Splitting Slices saying split a slice with a friend soon. And until my next video, everybody please take care.